Welcome to the pharmaphorum podcast. In this episode, I have as guest Nataliya Andreychuk, CEO of Viseven, who bravely shares with me her personal battle with breast cancer. Aware of the fortunate position she was in due to the professionals she knew through her work, Nataliya shares the determination to remain staying strong through brutal chemo sessions, the intent to look her best, even when she felt her worst, and the gratitude she felt for friends and family who were supporting her through her cancer journey. Centred on the patient voice, but a patient voice that happens also to be an industry professional, may Nataliya's story inspire and provide insight and share a supportive hand, one of keeping a sense of one's purpose when all seems overwhelming. It is a moving tale. Thank you for listening. This is web editor Nicole Raleigh, and today I have with me as guest Nataliya Andreychuk, CEO of Viseven. However, Nataliya is more than her professional label, her career success. She is a woman, and she is a breast cancer survivor. The conversation, needless to say, will be patient-centered, a deeply personal tale, but it is also one of resilience, empathy, and gratitude. With October, otherwise known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, having drawn to a close and November now commenced, a month these days linked with Movember and men's struggle with prostate cancer, that stigma surrounding these intimate oncological diseases is something Nataliya and I will be covering as we discuss her journey, one of both vulnerability and strength. Thank you for speaking with me today, Nataliya.
Nicole, thank you very much for having me in this room just to discuss and to talk about that. This is absolutely right. This story is deeply personal, but I want to tell this story to everyone who is going through the journey I was going through a couple of years back. So that's exactly what I want to do. I want to bring confidence for all women who were diagnosed or will be diagnosed in the future to fight, to be resilient, to be strong, and to build their own way to be healthy again. So, starting all of this, I would say I was the luckiest one because before I learned that I have the disease, we were working together with the group of oncologists in Ukraine, as we are Viseven as an agency. We were building the application together with one of our customers, and this consortium of oncologists, its application was called Oncologist Guide. Like, make sure, like, we used the big compendium for the breast cancer and transformed it into the mobile application where every oncologist will be able fast finding the information they need. The information, the updates would be following into this application, without any effort, automatically, of course, proven information. So we were working around this application. So that means I was reading a ton of materials, a ton of information about the disease. And you can imagine my surprise. Then it was a regular check, which we as women must go under. There's no way that I have realized that there is something I have in my body that I need to, to go and to examine further and to understand what it is. And then after some time, I thanks to the Israeli oncology clinic, Lizod, in Ukraine. So it's like as a strong emotion linkage with them, because this clinic was actually founded by Israeli famous oncologist who was Brie Bernstein that time, who was traveling from Israel to Ukraine, like it's more than 20 years ago. So to make sure this clinic is built and helping Ukrainian people to fight different types of cancer. And I was working on this application with Andrei Zhigulin at the time. This famous surgeon is mostly operating women in Ukraine in this very clinic. And once I was diagnosed, I was immediately going to see him, and he was like, his first phrase was, "No, not you." Like it was like, like this emotional professional bond. It was like, no, it can't be true. And it was true, because it was where I was, and the whole line of treatment was the aggressive one and the lengthy one, because I was honestly from I remember it very clear, from if we take in the months from January till the end of May, I was going through the number of don't dance chemotherapy. So it was like every second week I received the chemo, which is like first 4 rounds were one type of chemo, then 4 another rounds were another type of chemo. And it was like, first of all, like, yes, I lost all my hair. I was really like could go under the depression, but I don't want anyone to go under the situation where you really taking pity on yourself, because it doesn't make you strong. So what made me strong is just I was listening to the other patients by the time, because when that you are in the clinic, then you are admitting only on your course, and then you are leaving the clinic and you normally work. This is what I have done. I have been going to the clinic, I have received the treatment, and I was immediately back to my business life. I wasn't traveling abroad a lot, but I was all the time in the office. I literally stand only 1 week away from the office when I had my operation. But what helped me exactly being in the office, working with people, making sure I can be helpful to solve the other problems. I can be really like in my regular way to go and to work. First of all, it wasn't really easy, because my body was struggling with all the aftermath of chemo. The side effects were strong enough. But once I was like recognizing my brain was working in the same way as they're working before, and somehow I realized that I do not need any psychologist even in the time, because my work, my company, and our customers, and all the information I have the access to was playing the role of psychologist for me. And I was really observing how I can really help people, how I can be in the normal working regime, just to make sure I'm going under the lengthy treatment, but I'm going to go under this treatment and to become healthy again. So that was my like goal, if I can say that, my goal.
Yeah.
And I strongly believed that this is where I am going. It was also very emotional, because the time I was going under that, my youngest son was only 4 years old. And, like as a mother, like my daughter was already over 20. So, and my son is only 4 years old. As an every mother, I was really worried. So what if anything happened to me under this time? So what will happen to my boys? So who will be taking care about them? So my family was immediate support, and was really friends and family. Everyone was very supportive. But to avoid this type of thinking, do not bury yourself in this. My advice is to live as normal life as possible. Do not cut yourself from the society. Do not cut yourself from your professional side. So to make sure you can take these small things you have, and you can, survive through keeping your connection to what you have used to be before the disease. So that was helpful to me, and I want to tell this to everyone, because I also heard this from other people who were under treatment in the same time. They were talking like, go to work, clear your mind, please do not concentrate on the disease, concentrate on yourself, concentrate on how you can go through it, how you can be, because this is a lengthy process. Like I had my operations in the end of May, And then the other treatment began, is the radio treatment, which was around like 40 days. So then after the operations, after the recovery, because there was a lengthy surgical operation, like almost 10 hours. So like I was recovered. Yeah. So like after this recovery, then was another hit of radiation, which was also very challenging, because we know like this treatment is also quite aggressive. But after that, like when I was going through radiation treatment, it's like I need to explain. It's like 150 kilometers from my house to go to the clinic and back. And all 40 days, I was just begging to schedule my radio on the morning, so I can go and I can be back and I can be in the office by lunchtime. So, and I was all 40 days, I was in the office by lunchtime. I was, of course, after radio was taking the effect, I was sitting in my husband was my hero at the time. He was driving the car. I was like knocked down with the sleep, because it was like, like it's always taking on you, and you sleep these 2 hours when he's driving, and then you are okay, I'm in the office, and you again take this mode of working on you, and you are not thinking about that, because you are not thinking that there is some redness on your neck. You are not thinking that there is something you might be feeling not very comfortable, but you are thinking about what you need to do today, what it will bring this day. So what is the change? I would say technology partners, everyone who were working with Viseven by that time, they haven't recognized that I was even away. Maybe some, a broad business trip were not taken by me, and they were thinking, why this year Nataliya is not traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. But I was literally everywhere. Every event, which was in-house event, people were like arriving to Ukraine. It was before the war, so like people were traveling. So all our customers were running workshops in Kiev, and I was at every workshop, and I hope like no one noticed that something wrong, because I tried to make this schedule like it's normally like I'm in the afternoon arriving because of something, but I was always there. We were working as normal, and I'm thinking about that time. It is very challenging. It was challenging, but when I'm remembering it today, the determination of being alive and being in the moment, being present for everything, like for family, for work, for everything, like being there, like saved me. Like, because in the middle of what was going on, the treatment taken from January, even with the dose dance and very, a big dosage of the chemo and radiation, the end of treatment was the end of August. So you can address almost a year of constant treatment. So where you go from one stage to another, and you always under something. So if you normally go outside of life and go just into the treatment and focus onto that, that's very difficult to manage, because then you will be concentrate on everything what you feel, what your body is after under. Like my photos of that time might look poor, but I have tried my best. Do not look poor. Like I was smiling. I was always having a scarf to hide my redness of my neck. So some of this redness will be with me forever, I think. So, but yeah, but I was always trying to look as normal as possible. Like I think like people were not seeing me before. Maybe they think it's my normal face, or maybe it's my normal hair, or maybe I am just normally such upset and worried. So I was trying to live this normal life, and I'm really like was blessed by all these surgeons and all the people in this clinic, because this Lizot clinic has the best professionals I met, and their professional attitude to my health was very professional. Even something was going like not as they planned, but they always were saying like, Nataliya, look, we had these cases before. We know how to work with them. And that immediately brought me back to my confidence. Like, they what they have done for me, they have lifted up my confidence and my chances to survive. So they're also lifted up by them, because they were not giving up to anything. They were just thinking, okay, so if this is going that way, so we will control this and this. Or if that go in that direction, our recommendation do this and this. You will feel this poor, so please take this and this. I was really prepared to any scenario. So anything what can happen, like, because there, you can imagine there are ugly things were happening, like the muscle pain after chemo, the other things were literally ugly. But once I was put on this, calling to my doctor or anyone else, they were so much focused on keep me confident, keep me confident and keep me alive. And like my chemotherapist, she told me like, oh, Natalia, I can't wait. You will go and see some more pleasant doctors than us. I can't wait. You go to some more pleasant clinic. So how long is still? she was she was always, like kind of joking, like I say, like I read I need to eat only green food now, grasshopper. So it is, I'm broccoli woman now, I'm eating this and this. I say, she says, really? And what to do if I were you, I would eat sausages and drink beer. So she was so much bringing some humor into all of this situation to make sure like my spirits are up and I can fight and I can be not really too much suicidal and down to the water with all the thoughts. So literally that was very difficult journey, but the outcome of that I want to bring to all the people who need this, like confidence, live as much normal life as you can do under the circumstances, bring everything, do not delay anything. So if you want to do something, just do it. Just make sure you are doing everything what you planned to do, you wanted to do. Never delay anything, and try, do not make it like 1 year out of your life. It is just the another year of your life, just more intense, because of the disease is not an easy one. So that's the point, and that's why the information is very important. Once I was with all the oncologists and one round table before I was diagnosed. When I was diagnosed, I said, I am going to Lizot Clinic, because when we were building the app, the surgeon from the clinic, Andreychuk, was the one who was like most confident about the innovations and how to deal with the treatment and everything. So I'm going there. I'm going there directly. It was like that decision. So after diagnose, just the same day, the same time. I even not knowing if they can have me in that day. I was just calling from my car. I need to see you. I need to talk. I need to do that. And they were so good in the very same day to do the biopsy and everything. And that's just was a miracle. Yeah.
Yeah, a miracle indeed. I mean, what you've been saying, I mean, your resilience and strength and confidence aside, it's just fantastic. The fact that you were already working with these specialists and had that information there so you could note that there was something wrong with your body is just miraculous. Yeah. So focusing on the information, if we think of this in a sort of patient-centric way going forward for healthcare systems and the patients themselves, what sort of takeaway would you like to leave with listeners in that capacity?
I think I know what to answer here, because I met many women afterwards. Mm-hmm. In my work, some of them I was working with, some of them are my colleagues, unfortunately, because this is happening, this is life. And I was able to be helpful to them because I knew the journey, the information, what will happen, how it will feel. Do not be scared. Talk to these, do these steps. Go, and the diagnosis itself must be very detailed. Do not trust someone who does not give you the details about your disease. You need to have the details at every stage of the treatment you are. So you need to understand every key element of your diagnosis. So every medical vocabulary they're using in the description. So from the patient side, I think this thing to be aware about everything what is happening with you and will be happening is the key. So that every time you go out from the doctor, yes, you have doctor's humble opinion and the explanation, but you have also the something what Lisot have given me every time, something, summary of the stage where I am with a very concrete description. And then I have been really open to the information. I can go to the trusted resource and to read the information with the best practices on this, and this, and to compare where I am with my journey. This is very important. Like the very important thing also to build trust between you and your physician. So there must be trust and there must be the complete understanding, and you mustn't cover anything. So every symptom you are feeling, every concern you have should be expressed, and you need to tell it. But to be sure, like you are expressing the concern, it is important from patient side to understand that it is concern. So that's why to understand your disease, this is something which is in our hands. So we need, as patients, all the time understand what is going with your body, and to make sure like we can really see this like in our patient's way, but together with aligned with doctor, which is building a huge trust. So this is from the patient's perspective. And when I met women in my colleagues and my former colleagues, like who were also at a certain time going through the similar journeys, my help to them was first of all with sharing this story, then sharing the concerns, because every time, because when you go under this very new journey for yourself, you still have some concerns. So like you need to think about whenever you would do certain steps and certain decisions or not. So, and people who are going into the direction of treatment, they very frequently, they do not know that they will meet with these questions at a certain time. So I have been raising like a couple of questions, like you need to understand, like the treatment is very aggressive. You need to understand if you're going to work while you are treated. You need to understand as well if like some other aspects, like very physical aspects, like the decisions you might be asked to do like at certain stage. So you can understand it now because I'm with you, I was there, I can tell you this. So this is going to happen. And always good to advise the good doctor, the good clinic, so to make sure like there is some good experience shared. And also very we had in Ukraine, we had these a lot. So you can't sometimes you can't even trust the medication you have been put under. Like there are a lot of forgers who are forging the medications and everything. Yes, there's like there are a couple of scandals in the past couple of years, where especially onco treatments were forged by some criminal people, and people were really not showing any signs of improvement by really spending money on the false medication. So that's couple of this is not happening everywhere. But whenever you are going into the direction, you need to trust the treatment. You will so you need to always make sure so that your treatment is delivered by your clinic, so the clinic is responsible. So that's totally, you shouldn't if you buy something, you need to be really sure like what you are buying. If you are going to the pharmacy and you have your prescription, so these things are very important, I think, so that you are really having this trust, harmony, and confidence that you are in the good hands. You have trust to your doctor. You are treated with the proven medication, and you trust the approach of the treatment. So that's the basics, but very important things.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey, Nataliya. That was very moving. That was very inspiring with the way you've coped. And yes, I hope listeners agree. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. I hope my story will help to those who need to find their strength and their ground. I really do it for all of us. Thank you.
And so that concludes another episode of the pharmaphorum podcast. You can find out more information about this episode, including a download link and information about previous installments of the series at pharmaphorum.com/podcasts. The pharmaphorum podcast is also available on iTunes, Spotify, Acast, Stitcher, and Podbean, where you can find and subscribe by searching for pharmaphorum. Of course, don't forget to visit our website itself, where you can sign up for daily news and analysis bulletins, and follow us on Twitter, or X nowadays, at pharmaphorum. That's all for now. Thank you for listening.